some of you have maybe not a good understanding on how to create a sheet and border it and create a chart. Some of you have a decent idea, some of you have a great idea. You're probably all over the board on it. So if you know how to do it, it's gonna be really easy. If you don't, then this is kind of for you, all right? So here's what you're gonna do. There's a square here, the first square that you wrote in. You're gonna basically tap that with your finger, okay? So tap that with one finger, keep it on, and you're gonna drag with your other finger, and you're gonna drag it all the way to the corner. This last box, you're gonna basically highlight all of it. So you're gonna push it, keep it on, and then drag it. And you're gonna drag all the way to there until it's highlighted in blue. So you should see a highlight. It should be highlighted in blue, like a light blue. You gotta let it go. Should be highlighted. You should have all the words highlighted. Like, so some of the words shouldn't be highlighted, it should be highlighted, all of it. So there's a box up on the top that has 4 squares. You're gonna click on it. It's gonna open up 10 more boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's gonna have a little righty pin, and then it's gonna have this, and it's gonna have an arrow, and then it's gonna have this and a dot, something like that, and then it's gonna have an arrow. All I want you to do right now is I want you to go to this one, click on the arrow. Now it's gonna give you a drop down of line. It's gonna give you a thin line, a little bit of a thicker line, and it's gonna give you a thicker line. I want you to click on that line. Now there's a box here that looks like that. I want you to click on that. It should have bordered this for you. It bordered it, a thick border. Now you're gonna click on just stages of heat illness. Click on this box again. So the first click, you should have this box. The second click, you should now have this box. So now what you're gonna do is you're going to click out of that. So now it's not highlighted blue. You're going to click on heat exhaustion. Go back to these boxes. You're gonna click on this here again. You're gonna go back, click on the thin line, and go back and click on that box. So I'll do it again. You're gonna click on this icon, go back to the thinnest line, line number 1, go back to this box, and now this line here should become thinner. Now, you still have unevenness with the lines. You have a thin line, and you're gonna have thin lines here. So we have to make sure that these are thicker lines now again. So, you're gonna highlight, click on heat cramps, keep it down, drag so that now just this box here is highlighted blue. This should not be, it should be clear. So just highlight that in blue. Go back here, click on the arrow, thick line, click on the box. It should make this thick. So now you should have this. But these lines are thinner than the outer border. So now you don't have to make this a different color. I make it a different color for you so you can see it better. Signs and symptoms, heat cramps, muscle cramps, arms and legs. Now you're going to do the exact same thing you did before. You're going to go thick border, and then you're going to do another thick border. So tab, cursor, drag, highlight both lines, border it. Doesn't matter which one. Highlight muscle cramps, arms and legs. Border it so that you have a border that sits between the two lines. You're gonna bold this, stages of heat illness. Bold that. Bold signs and symptoms of heat cramps. Here's the next set. You're gonna do the same thing here. Highlight stretch muscles, highlight light massage, highlight hydrate, all of it. Thin border. So it should give you a thin border. Now your borders are all off now. Some are the round, some are thick around, some are thin. Now you have to highlight treatments, heat cramps. Push the tab, drag it all the way. It's gonna go back to the third border, the thicker one, make it a thick border around, and then highlight treatments and heat cramps. And that's gonna create your thick border here between heat cramps and muscles. And then bold, treatments, heat cramps. So what you should have after that, specifically designated categories that you can see delineated for you when you read it. So you have your stages of heat illness that is identifiable for you. You have your signs and symptoms of heat cramps, and you have your treatments, heat cramps, identifiable for you, segregated, so to speak, from the other two categories. So right now, an entire spreadsheet, could be about 24 lines. It could be more, like 24, I think like maybe 28 lines total. Will give you a full printout. So you can fit like 24 to 28 lines, depending on how big your font is, to fit on one page. What you're gonna also do real quick is there's a box here. There's not the box for the S's, but there's another box. It's in the very corner. If you click on it, it'll highlight the entire page. So click on that box. Just click on that box. There's a box just next to the S. Click on that box. It should highlight the entire screen. Now you're going to go to font. And you're going to increase the font we'll increase it to 14. It should make your words bigger. Now some of your words are off the border. Okay, so let's say it does that. So now it's above, it's not next to your word, but you have A, B, C, D, E. You have lines here between all the letters. You're gonna click on wherever if that word bled off, if the word bled off and now your border's gone, and it was on D, say it was D. If you click on that, it turns into an arrow. A double-sided arrow. Keep it clicked, drag it to the right. It'll increase that border, so now it'll give you the border over that letter. You have to click on it here and drag it. So it turns into this. It turns into a double-sided arrow. Click on it and then drag it. And if that happened to you and it bled off the border, then you can click on those the lines and then it'll give you more, extend the border. Now I'm gonna give you more on this column, but anything that I write here, you're gonna continue on your column down here because I don't have enough space to add it. So I'll add it here. So keep your first column rolling. So now when you have all of that done, you can do the exact same thing. Create your thick border. And what you can do is you can create your thin borders. So you can highlight headache, create a thin border. Highlight nausea, create a thin border. Highlight vomiting, create a thin border, and so on. And then you're going to do the same thing. Then you're going to highlight all of it again. Create your thick border. Highlight signs and symptoms, heat exhaustion. And that's going to create your thick border on there. So you should have thick border here. Okay, now we're going to go treatments, heat exhaustion. Still same column, all right? So right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You have 18 lines of words, which should be getting, it should still be able to give you enough on that first column. So hydrate, remove excess clothing, rest in cool shady area, and then this fourth one I'm gonna put here, but you should put it on your fourth line because I'll run out of space for the camera. It's cool down. With water. So this for you should be down here. You can also do the small lines first, so you know, the thinner lines first. And then you can do the thicker lines afterwards. Just remember, this is your first column. Now your second column is going to be added. I'm going to write the fourth and the fifth one here so it fits on the board and it fits in the camera. But just don't add it to this column. Just keep adding it to this column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna tell you the fifth one because it won't fit on the board however I try to do it. So the fifth one is, if immersion not available, wrap in cool towels. You're gonna bold signs and symptoms heat stroke. You're gonna bold treatments heat stroke. You're gonna bold signs and symptoms heat exhaustion. And you'll bold treatments heat exhaustion. So now you should have 2 columns. So your third column is environmental factors.